Hey everyone, my name is John Roca for Collider. I'm here with the outlaw Josie Wales, my man Clint Eastwood, and Paul Walter Hauser. Talk to me, my man. You got to work with the great Clint Eastwood, lead role in this film, Richard Jewell. What was this like for you?
It was an honor for all the obvious reasons because of his filmography and his reputation, and I grew up watching a lot of his films. And In the Line of Fire, I forgot to mention, that's one of those movies that in my childhood was always on TV.
Yeah.
And I probably saw it 4, 5, 6 times. And it was fun watching. You know he's good when he can be on the phone with the villain, and that's as visceral as them facing off in person. It was a joy to just get to meet him, and I had hoped that we would gel creatively. You never know.
Right.
We kind of go in blindly, but he knows how to work with actors because he is one.
Yeah, well, you're fantastic in this film, Paul. And Clint, you get such a great performance out of him. Tell me, what inspired you to tell this story at this time in your life and at this time in our country's history? Because I remember reading about the mule. You said you read the article. You're like, yeah, let's do that. But this is a deeper exploration of this character and what happened to him.
Well, I've been chasing this film for somewhere 3, 4, 5 years now.
Wow.
And different circumstances came up that I couldn't get the property, or it was with studios that weren't quite keen on it. But I always was keen on the story, and I thought the script was good. And I thought it had potential to be a really important story, talking about a very tragic situation.
Yeah.
And the ruining of a man's life, and probably the shortening of his life due to his a lot of out of control facets.
Right.
The press maybe jumping too soon, jumping too hard, and the agencies, everybody needing a quick conclusion to the thing, just to protect the event that was going to be the.
Yeah, I remember living through this. I remember reading all the papers about it when it all happened, and the transition was, oh my God, is it the security guard now? Oh my God, it was crazy. And you bring all that out in the film. But as I'm looking through your filmography, you seem to be drawn to these characters that are fighting against the system or fighting the uphill battle, the little guy against the big guy. And I wonder if that has always been with you since in your career as well as an actor, because I remember that you were playing, on Gunsmoke, and you weren't getting a shot at lead characters. You had to go to Italy to become a lead. So maybe you connect to these characters having to fight against the system and to prove themselves.
Yeah. It was, I think I gravitated towards those kind of roles.
Mm-hmm.
And Rawhide is this.
Oh, sorry, Rawhide.
That's
yes.
all right, but it's the same CBS Western series, same thing. And but we did that for a lot of years, 6 years, and over that time you deal with all kinds of stuff. You deal with good scripts, bad scripts, mediocre, and you're hashing out product. And then the idea of going to Italy and doing a thing which they're using the plot line in another movie, but I actually did that, and it was good. It's good for me. It's good for me to work with other people, other societies, and different obstacles, and not obstacles, but just different look at things, and it's eventually you stack up enough stuff in your head and you try to utilize some of it, put it back into the process.
It certainly comes through in the films that you're making, that's for damn sure, and I noticed that again with another great one like Richard Jewell. Paul, had you been familiar with the story before you took it on, and what surprised you the most as you were doing your research for playing Richard?
Yeah, I was not familiar because I was 9.5 when the event took place, mm-hmm. But I knew of the story because of the project. I knew that Hollywood was making a biopic of Richard Jewell, and the people involved were really talented. And so I was just anticipating the film. And then when I got the part, I did some research and kind of just realized that there was an accumulation of circumstantial evidence that to the general public was translated as evidence, not circumstantial. It was evidence to them in the minds of most viewers. So the imbalance of truth there was deeply disheartening, and my heart goes out to Richard, but I feel we're giving some form of culmination and conclusion with this film.
I would agree with you. I got emotional a couple of times watching the movie, seeing that struggle that he was going through and connecting. I mean, having been in the military myself, connecting with a guy
thank you for your
who's
service,
thank you, wanting to be part of an organization, wanting so bad to be taken seriously, and then having that thrown back in his face when he's done something really good. What a terrible turn of events that was for him. So I think you capture it both in your direction, Clinton, and your acting. The journey that this guy went through that is so human and heartbreaking. You know, absolutely. I want to ask you something, Clint. Are you ever going to direct a comedy? I mean, you did comedies way back in the '70s, Bronco Billy and stuff. Do you want to? Do you want to do one?
I love comedies,
Okay.
but sometimes a good drama is the basis of our of conflict, or conflict is the basis of drama or whatever. But then there's those stories of conflict, whether it's broad conflict like a action film or whether it's inner, is always interesting to delve in. And I just thought this one, this is real screwing over this guy got.
Yeah.
And people jump to conclusions, and I just hope that people would think more deeply before. Is somebody waving at you?
No, I was at the check. When you're interviewing, you always have to check, see if you're getting the right side or not.
Don't worry about it.
That's part of my business.
Anyway, it's just fun to do them. I would love to do comedies, but and I can't. But you got to go with what's there. It's like somebody's always saying, "Would you ever like to do a Western again?" I said, "Well, no, I don't know. Unforgiven seemed like a good one to end on."
Yeah.
And then I thought, what if somebody write a good one that equal to that? I would say yes, but at the same token, I don't search for any particular type of product.
Well, he's a funny guy, this Paul Walter Hauser guy. So he's a
He'd be
comedian
great.
himself. Maybe he should write something.
Yeah, he could.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to put this
Or
back together.
maybe we can merge them and we'll find a true story that has some drama, but is also funny. I think there's some films like Changeling where you're not going to really be laughing ever, probably.
Yeah.
But I think this film, similar to Gran Torino, there's some elements of comedy or comedic moments that
Absolutely.
bring levity amidst the heaviness of the story.
Absolutely. One last question for you, Clint. I'd be in trouble if I don't ask for this. I play the outlaw in where I live and where I work at Collider. This is my nickname for him because of your influence on me. But I need to ask you this. Unforgiven, there are rumors that there is a director's cut or a longer cut out there. And not to get into a Snyder Cut situation, but I want to ask you, is there a director's cut somewhere hidden in your archives that you'd like to release someday?
No, the director's cut was it what you saw in the movie.
Bang.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Bang.
All right.
Straight from the outlaw himself.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well, I was going to ask. Thank you so much, Clint. Thank you so much, Paul. This is John Roque for Collider. Go see Richard Jewell. This one is fantastic.
Go see it, you guys.